Hey, what's going on, true believers? Got some breakfast, some lunch, some brunch maybe? Look, I know this is a little unorthodox, but don't click off. Hold on. Today, we're just having a casual video where we sit back, relax, and talk about some awful Spidey costumes that we've gotten over the years. And, to be honest, I think a couple of these might be controversial. And if they are, and you disagree with me, please go down into the comments and rant about it, because I kid you not. You have no idea how much that helped with the algorithm. Anyway, with that being said, let's get right into this. First off, we have Cyborg SpiderMan. Is there a more blatant example of a bad 90s costume than this thing? What's going on here? Why does he look like a cable knockoff? Why is there a fake eye over his spider eye? Why are the cybernetics on top of his costume? Can he even take his mask off? The big, ugly yellow utility belt is just the cherry on top of a garbage suit that I never want to think about again. And look, you remember how I said there'd be a controversial pick or two on this list? Well, up next is SpiderMan PS4. Stop, breathe, listen. I don't like this suit. Somehow even more than Cyborg SpiderMan. But I just hear me out. Just hear me out here. Because I used to really like this costume. It's alright, you know. It's unique, I guess. And it translates pretty well into the comics. But the reason it made this list is solely because the new version is just so much better. I never even realized some of the complaints I had about Insomniac's Spider-Man until I saw the Spider-Man 2 suit. Looking at it now in a fresh new light, I hate that the spider just kinda sits there on top of everything. The top legs have nowhere to go, and the bottom legs just plop down on top of the red and the blue sections. It's kinda off-putting, to be honest. And why is it orange? Why is it orange? Look, I'm mostly okay with Spidey suits that have an orange tint, although I do prefer a pink or a purple tint. But this thing isn't even red. It straight up looks like a basketball that's been in the sun for too long. I'm moving on. The next one's a little weird. It's the new Symbio suit. Alright, so in the Red Goblin event, the most overhyped Spider-Man event we have had in the last decade, let's be real, Spider-Man got the Symbio suit again. You know, that perfect, simplistic design that's so hard to screw up that until now, I didn't know that was possible. But yeah, they found a way. I have no idea what the thought process was behind ruining one of the most iconic Spidey looks of all time. Why are the eyes popping off the face like a terrible Power Rangers villain? Why does the spider look like that? Why is Humberto Ramos unable to cook ever? This man keeps getting put on mainline Spidey books and he never cooks. I don't get it. Can someone please explain it to me? Carnage is a little hottie. He's a hot little twink who gets up to silly shenanigans and has a super cool design that looks like a hydro-dipped Spidey in some kick-ass red and black paint. It is so unbelievably hard to fuck up a Carnage design, right? Right? Well, next up we have this guy. He's a Peter Parker from Earth 15 who's a silly little mercenary who gets up to even sillier murderous hijinks. And he looks like ass, okay? Spider-Carnage has the capacity to be one of the most badass designs we rarely get to see in Marvel Comics. And they just took the whole idea and said, nah, let's just make him plain red with little chin thingies. I mean, we gotta have the chin thingies! He's ugly, he's not nearly silly enough, and those chin thingies give me the vibe that those big jawbreakers from Ed, Edd n Eddy have, you know what I mean? Get it out of my sight. Good old Spider-Man 2099. A classic design with Day of the Dead inspired motifs that absolutely jumps off the page with its red and black color scheme. It's a timeless design that fits the neon gothic vibes of Nueva New York perfectly. So, someone at Marvel said, hey, you know what this thing needs? A totally different color scheme that doesn't fit the vibe of the setting at all, complete with an assload of unnecessary paneling and lines. Our favorite thing to put on Spidey suits. I mean, just look at those lines. Beautiful. Burn it in a fire. See, modern Spider-Man comics, or should I say, modern Paul comics, have had their fair share of unique suits to fit the era of our titular wall crawler. Take the all-new, all-different suit from the Parker Industries storyline, for instance. I like this thing a lot, and it's not the suit we're putting on this list. Instead, we're going with the Goblin Brand Spider suit from Zeb Wells and Nick Lowe's stellar Paul Mann comics run, where Peter has all the energy of your favorite drunk divorced dad who works for the guy who killed his girlfriend, his brother, and his baby. Good fucking googly moogly. What can I say about this thing other than, what happened here? This is the aftermath of a car crash where the only survivor needed skin grafts and extensive physical therapy just to wind up getting into another car crash the day he leaves the hospital. The puke green replacing the blue, the piss yellow accents, the Goblin Spider glider fucking thing, none of it works. I hate it. I want it to be mulched and used to fertilize my garden, because that is all it is good for. Up next is the yellow and white corporate suit. You see, I hate Spider-Man being a corporate stooge. It never really works, and this suit is just another example of it. If your entire design philosophy was, hey, let's make a costume that doesn't look like anything Spider-Man would ever be seen wearing, well, this thing's fucking perfect. The lines and paneling suck. The gray, white, yellow, and blue color scheme do not fit Peter Parker even slightly, and the orb thingies on his eyes look like the afterthought of a Marvel exec who's been dipping a little too much into the nose candy, if you know what I'm saying. The Homecoming suit is okay. The Spider logo is pretty bad. The unnecessary lines in the blue are annoying, and I'm not a fan of the nearly invisible webs, but again, it's okay. But some madman, some insane asylum patient with 2 lobotomies under his belt decided that they needed to go further with it. They needed to add more lines. They needed to make the spider look worse. And that's how we got the Avengers Campus Spider-Man suit. Why does this thing look so bad? Why didn't they just use the Homecoming suit? I don't know. I really don't. I think it has something to do with Sony rights. Like, Disney needed to make their own, and this is what they came up with. It's so bad. Moving on. Number 2, the MCU Iron Spider suit. Let's get one thing clear. The MCU Iron Spider suit is the worst live-action superhero costume we have ever gotten in anything ever. I hate it so much that I want to grab it with my own 2 hands through the screen and tear it to shreds like a nasty little goblin. When I see this thing, I am pissing, shitting, screaming, crying. It's so bad, my wife left me. It's so bad, it made me dodge taxes for 3 straight years. But for real, it's a mismatch of terrible ideas, a bad color palette, and so many lines that you might mistake this thing for a parody of MCU suit designs. I just cannot imagine taking a suit from the comics like the Iron Spider and wanting to muddy it up with all these extra design elements and a symbol that looks like a 2-year-old scribbled on top of everything and called it a day. Not to mention the CGI never really does it any favors. It would absolutely be in the number 1 spot on this list if there wasn't already a Spidey suit design out there that makes this thing look like sunshine and roses. Number 1 is, of course, the Peter David Scarlet Spider suit. The Scarlet Spider costume. What an awesome design for a Spidey character that manages to do its own thing in such a stunning and unique way, while never looking so far removed from the original look to make you wonder if it's even Spidey at all. The ripped up hoodie, the webless red undersuit, those gorgeous silver web shooters, it all comes together to form what many believe to be the best alternate Spidey costume of all time. So, for the Peter David Scarlet Spider run, they decided to take everything good about the costume, throw those in the trash, and do this instead. Yeah. Why can I see his mouth? Why is he grinning at me like that? Why does he look like the Spider-Man eating a donut through his mask meme? Why does my wife leave me? All these questions and more can be answered by the simple fact that this thing was so bad, so universally panned by everybody, that it got ditched for the classic Scarlet Spider design 2 issues in. But of course, Insomniac had to put this pile of ass in Spider-Man 2 over both the sensational suit and the Beyond suit, because man, Ben Reilly Really can't get a single win in this day and age, huh? So yeah, that's all I have to say, other than the fact that, hey, you can now support the channel by becoming a community member for only 99 cents a month. It would help me out, I'd super duper appreciate you for joining, and you get access to cool emojis, exclusive shoutouts, and maybe an exclusive members-only stream from time to time. I'll also be doing a top 10 best Spider-Man suits video pretty soon too, so stay tuned for that. Oh, and let me know your own suit lists down in the comments if you'd be so kind, my dear true believers and symbiote sims. With that being said, this is the Synth Voice Network, signing off for the night.